Suck it, Corey. Thank you. May have to refresh or something. I'm not sure. You excited for more boring red? Probably have to refresh. Couldn't figure out how to change this thing. Go, boring red deck. Can you tell my heart's not into it tonight? Rip. Hmm. I think energy is one of the worst decks in the format, and I don't have zombies. I don't think energy's close to playable. Don't think it beats the red decks. It doesn't beat the Pummeler decks. It doesn't beat the Teamer Energy decks. It doesn't beat the Monument decks. It doesn't beat the Gifts decks, and it doesn't beat the Zombies decks. Can't imagine ever wanting to play it. That being said, I'm playing Friendly League, so who knows, it may not matter at all. Well, he can't kill the important one, so at least he takes a lot. Wow, really? That's the important one? I wouldn't have guessed that was the important one. The one he kills, I draw. The most should work. Sure. Okay. Good. Thank you for the sub, by the way. I guess another removal spell's not terrible. I choose these two on the draw. Yeah, but his sideboard guide for his really, really bad build that has, like, build the smashes and crap in it. That has no removal in it and stuff. I think his deck was about the most unplayable red deck I've saw. Ugh. I don't think I can change this thing unless I'm an actual partner. Him not having a blossoming defense here would be sweet. Hey, hey, hey! Feel like Fat Albert. Him not having a bristling Hydra here would be sweet. Oh well. Couldn't have everything I wanted. It's not rip yet. You could have like not many other things. The deck only runs like 20 creatures. Like I hazard it away from being able to beat the board. Oh, there's something in my eye again. Why do I get something in my eye every night? Well, probably gonna die, but I'm gonna attack for a whole bundle next turn if he doesn't add anything relevant to the board anyway. Oh, never mind. He's just gonna add everything remotely usable to the board. I'll wait one turn to use the Bowmats. Pretty much gonna need a removal spell next turn though, or I'll probably die to the Pummeler. I don't understand why people leave Pummeler in this match. Oh, so you can do that and just win, I guess? Sure. But for that to work, I had to not draw. Over those last 5 cards, I had to not draw a Shock, a Flow, a Collective Defiance, or an Abrade. So basically, it took a miracle. And he had the top deck. Whee! Oh, this hand seems unplayable. Let's keep it. You notice that I constantly lose round 1 to extremely favorable matches? Like, almost every league, I typically lose round 1 to an extremely favorable match. If he's got one of his, like, 4 or 5 removal spells, I lose. And of course, he's got one of his 4 or 5 removal spells. He's going to draw more removal spells than I am creatures. Yes, he's going to draw more removal spells than I have creatures. I'm only running like, what, 29 or whatever? 24 post board? Because I didn't bring in the Glory Bringers. I don't think I'm supposed to bring in the Glory Bringers though. Sure. Uh-oh, little Beaumont. Go get him, buddy. Show him that you're an all-star. I just don't think he drew a land. Meh, I have time to do that later. So, in total, he can turn this thing into a 2, a 4, an 8, like in a million. I'm probably dead. Don't think using the shock does anything. Whatever. I'll use the shock anyway, make him use all his energy. I probably don't die if he uses all his energy. Yeah, I want to sack the Beaumont. Rip. We drew 3 creatures and 15 cards of our red deck, so it's not surprising that we lost. Not surprising at all that we lost. I swear this happens every day, round 1. I constantly lose to similar type draws. It actually gets a little old after a while. Don't know how anybody can run this code. Just not attack with the pummeler? Don't think I have any outs. Maybe I can find things to block long enough. But probably not, since he still has 4 cards in his hand. Oh, cool! A third removal spell out of the 4 they run. That's game. It's pretty hard to win when you draw 4 creatures and your opponent that only even runs 4 removal spells draws 3. Oh well. Don't feel like I got to make a decision any of those 3 games. For anybody that's watching chat, I feel this standard format is terrible and it feels torturous to play. One land? Whatever. I'll keep it. Mainly because of the Soul Scar Mage. I have not tried that deck. I will not try that deck. that deck is a no for me. I can't think of any reason I would want to try that deck. I don't even think that deck beats the red decks. Not consistently anyway. I'm hoping it gets better at the Grand Prix, but I can't imagine that it will. I think these red decks are going to be so powerful that they're going to make you play tons of bad cards just to beat them, and that doesn't seem fun to me. I think deck construction is going to be more constrained than it was when Feldoir Guardian was legal. I'm not saying that I think the red decks are unbeatable. I'm just saying I think they're kind of the fun police, and you're not going to be able to do anything fun. Expect to have reasonable results. That's just a prediction. That doesn't mean that it's even remotely an accurate prediction. And I'm extremely hoping it's wrong because I'm pretty into Magic right now. Pretty into Magic at the moment. So I'd rather kill that one. I assume he's going to block with this. I'm just attacking. I'm not worried about keeping the Gorger alive. He's kind of got a million cards in hand. Untap land would be pretty swell. Ouch! No opponent, don't hurt me. That's not an untap land. Yep. They're playing that terrible black-white deck. They're playing Kalidas. Kalidas is a terrible card. I don't care what anybody says. They're playing the Glory Bringer, Lone Rider, horse deck. And like, the thing about all those cards is none of those cards even beat the red deck's good draws anyway. Like, you're sideboarding all of those terrible cards to beat the bad draws. I wish Ring Sandy was playable. I think it would be playable if it wasn't for the red deck being 40% of the meta. Something's changed. Our opponent's attacking. And he's exerting so that thing can't attack next turn? That doesn't seem solid. I can just ignore everything they're doing then. My opponent was way too far behind to make that type of attack. I really want to play the Ring Sanity deck. I was going to play it in paper this week, but the entry fee is a lot higher than I expected at our local store for the week. Which seems silly to me. That they're having a double entry Friday Night Magic on the same week that they're having 2 game days. I mean, if they hadn't attacked with both of their creatures this turn, yeah. Like, they didn't have to let me get this attack in. They could have just left these 2 blockers up. Yeah, I need to sell mine. I think they're still worth selling. This is a paper Magic. I would just show the opponent the flow so we wouldn't have to wait this 3 or 4 or 5 minutes or whatever the heck it is. It's been 2 already. I don't know if I like this card. It's good versus like the Cletuses and stuff, but I think it's terrible in the mirror, and I think if the mirror's 40% of the meta, you need to make sure you're solid versus the mirror. I will not kill your Chandra. Don't really know how to sideboard versus these decks on the draw. I definitely probably... Stupid card, why'd you go over here? Probably want this crap. May want these, because if he's playing the PV type build, he'll have Everspear Harvester. And I may want these. And I may want these. If I'm bringing in those, I have to bring in lands. So I have no idea how you sideboard this match. I still can't figure it out. Well, they're a Flame Slash that does soak up a little bit of damage. Like when I watched the Pro Tour coverage, they left this card in, they left this card in, they left this card in if they had it, they left these in, 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 they left these in. I never saw these left in, but like, I think they're good in the match. Maybe Glorybringer's just too slow on the draw? So, like, there's shaving cards? I have no idea what you shave. Somebody told me to cut these, but, like, I feel like that's one of the better cards in the match, if not the best removal spell in the match. Eh, we'll try this. Really have no idea how to sideboard the mirror. I do believe Hungry Flames is playable, but like, I think this card's probably better. I know Hungry Flames is an instant or whatever, but like, this card's really, really good, and I think people were sleeping on it. I saw a Russian foil of it for just $10, and it just really makes me think people don't respect this card. Of course, the English foil is only like 2.25, so 5x is a lot, but sadly speaking, if they have certain draws, this card alone can beat them. Alright, well, I guess we'll keep this one. I don't really want that. I don't think Flow's that terrible in the mirror. It can do damage to their face, and it can make sure Earthshakers don't come back, which the mirrors are typically long enough games that an Earthshaker can come back. Guess I'll play this thing. Well, I'm certainly not the aggressor of this match, so we'll attempt to block with it, or at least make him use an exert. If you use an exert, that's the less damage we take on a following turn, so that's fine. If he uses a removal spell, that's less things he's doing on his turn, so that's also fine. Eh. That was the worst case, but we still have this, so it's fine. Everything's always fine. Rip. They are. Those cards are good in the mirror, but if he just slams a turn 4 Hazard that's attacking, like, they don't do anything. Like, you don't beat a Hazard with those cards, which is why this mirror's so terrible. And a Hazard can come down a full turn before the Glorybringer. I think the Glorybringer's more reasonable on the play. I should probably be bringing Glorybringers in, but like, now everybody's playing Chandra's Defeat, and you're just like trading your Glorybringer for 1 mana. Hey man, what's up? Well, I guess that was a good draw. I'll rephrase, a good non-land draw. Yeah. If he's playing Pia, that means he's probably playing PV's build. A couple running lands here wouldn't be too bad. Don't care if he trades this copter for my Beaumont. I'm not sacking the Beaumont even remotely anytime soon anyway, and he'll find a burn spell long before that. So providing he doesn't have a shock, a magma spray, or a Chandra's defeat or something, I will attack in. Attack in with just that then. If he doesn't have a Hazoret, we're in good shape providing we hit a land. If he does have a Haz, I don't think we can win no matter what. Goodbye, little Beaumont. And that's why I wouldn't have mind trading it for a Thopter. Could have killed the Copter and guaranteed preventing the 1 damage, but he could easily have a removal spell and I just take 2. Or something like that and I just take 2. Do I block? Well, he has 1 card in hand, so probably not. Fair enough ahead that I think I just go down to 9 now. These cards are pretty good. The guy that went 10-0 has 3 of them. I've never ran more than 2, but I kind of like them. Sure. So it's hard for us to lose, providing they don't have Haz, I guess. So the things that can beat me are like an end of turn shock into a Hazoret. So it's probably worth sacking this and looking for one of my 2 drops. Or one of my 1 drops rather. There's 7 of them in the deck. And I've gone through two of them. Yeah, I think it's worth looking for it. Now we can't die to Hazoret. They had to have 3 pretty specific cards to beat us, but like we win if we get to untap, so the Beaumont doesn't do anything on the table. Like they had to have an instant speed burn spell in hand and top decked Hazoret, or like have a Hazoret in hand, which has already been cast, so I mean, it's irrelevant. But like they could have drawn a shock there. It could have been a shock into a Hazoret into a win, so. I think it's better to play around things than not. Hey, we played versus Joe Wayne a lot lately. This guy is a scourge of the late night friendly leagues. Joe Wayne. I really love that emote. It's a really nice emote. Spoiler. I like these Soulscar mages a lot more than Village Messengers. They have been consistently good. They have been consistently good. Yep, that card's good too. Or Hazoret enabled. Little Falcon Raft doesn't do a whole lot here because of the first striker, but we have 4 flows, 2 abrades, 2 defiance as a main, so we have 8 ways to draw and kill the Karl Zev. Then we have 3 more Kinra, we have the 4 Cop Crashers, and we have the 3 Hazarets, so pretty much our entire deck's fairly decent draws here. That being said, we really need one of them. Like, bricking here would be real bad for our chances. That's not bricking. That's not bricking at all. They have mismatched lands. As somebody who's OCD as me, this is kind of tilting. Kind of tilting. Another Kenya. Those are legendary, friend. You could have attacked first and then did that second and still had a blocker. Guess I can press F6 now. So they still have a lot of good draws. We lose the flows off of the things I just said a minute ago, but we've kept every other card. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so we're on to draw. I'm pretty confident at least these cards come in. Because he could be on harvesters. It's reasonable that these cards come in too. I think Raw Dogger in chat suggested them. He claims the incendiary flows are bad. I kind of like the flows, but I'm willing to try new things. I'm always willing to try new things. So I'd still have to take out 5 more cards. Taking out 5 more cards seems like a lot. Yeah, we'll try these things. Hand seems reasonable. Certainly not good, but rip. That already does more damage to me than I'm willing to let happen to me. I guess that was a good draw. Ouch. Hello, lady. I wonder if I'm supposed to use a braid on her or whether I'm supposed to save it for a harvester. I guess we'll use it. It's free damage either way, but if she draws a second one of these, I guess it's better to do it like this. Go ahead and play the desert so that I can't forget. Well, it's not a Chandra, so I guess we'll use the defeat then. Well, as long as the 2 cards that they have in their hand aren't great, or I guess we're not in bad shape. I really like the deserts. The deserts are a very good cycle. Alright. I don't know. Okay. Could have been worse. He's down to 1 card. I guess I can block? Technically ahead on the race. He attacks me down to 12. I attack him down to 12. Eh. I'm ahead on cards at the moment too, though, so. So we don't have a bad draw on our deck now? Even a land gets us back an Earthshaker? But it's still, I'm assuming whoever draws Hazoret wins. Glorybringer's good too, I guess. Alright. He's having him a think, so I'm assuming it's not Glorybringer then? Alright, that's fine. Still feel ahead. Searsus Rip. Untap land would be good. Hazard would be good. Glorybringer would be good. Literally any card in the deck's good. Considering he missed again, I'll probably play this next turn, even if I don't hit. Yeah. We'll go ahead and play this turn. Because it presents lethal next turn if we draw a land for the Earthshaker. Sure. Take 2 down to 9. So if he draws Hazoret, I'll be in a weird spot. That's not Hazoret. So land and we win. Oh, does he have an Earthshaker? If he did, I didn't notice it. Yeah, I didn't notice. He just wanted F6. That's fine. It's a land. Hey, we beat mirrors sometimes. Go speed, weird cards. I don't even have Chandras in the build because I'm cheap. Pretty happy with the main deck, except I think I need a 23rd land. I don't know what to cut for the 23rd land though. I have no idea what to cut for the 23rd land. I do feel like the main deck's a land short. Both of these are cards that I was considering cutting for that land. Fair. I've been called out, and you're not wrong. Think this hand's strong enough to keep? Even with one land? I think it's strong enough to keep even with one land. Oh cool, another mirror. Because this format's great. Well, another potential mirror. I guess technically just because he shows us a mountain doesn't mean he's playing red. And he shows us a second mountain. Can we just say it's safe that he's playing red? This is a greedy keep. I don't know if it was mathematically correct. Like we're a little lower than 50% to hit the land. That attack was kind of greedy too, but like if he had a cash cropper thingy or a burn spell or just a number of cards like staying on defense didn't seem great. Alright, I'll stay on defense now that we've missed again. Assume if he's making that block, he knows he's getting to 6 lands pretty easily. Hey, we dead, fam. Oh boy, are we dead. Might have did okay if take 5 more. If he has a land, we're dead. Blocking doesn't get us anywhere, does it? He pretty well has to have exactly nothing over a lot of turns. Guess I could have attacked with a Kenra and left a Gorger, but... Alright. Well, we're dead. Alright. Let's try all this crap again. You know, he didn't really show us any big cards or little cards that game. I wonder if these just aren't going to work versus him then. Meh. If we did our land drops, we might have been competitive that game, but unlikely. Between 3 and 4. Like Owen and them claim you have to have 4. I'm not sold on needing 4. Not sold on wanting 4 either. I assume this is dead? I assume I'm wrong. Well, we sideboarded in extra lands, so hopefully we'll hit creatures. Or sorry, we sideboarded in 2 extra lands, so hopefully we'll hit lands is what I was trying to say. Of course not. I don't want to do all that on the middle of a stream. It takes too much time. But I appreciate the offer. O land, where art thou, land? Savage Alliance in Accra? Savage Alliance in Accra. That's a good card, I suppose. I personally think it's just worse than Blazing Volley, but hey. I'm glad somebody has lands. Uh-oh, boys. We get to cast another spell. The fact that he doesn't have another removal spell means he's probably just on Glorybringers. Yeah, just casually 5 lands on a Glorybringer again. Because this deck does that so often. Can still win if we hit like Landon to Hazard and his 4 cards not be particularly great. Oh, well, never mind. We can't win at all. Still got to be like Landon to Hazard. If he's got a Chandra's Defeat, we just lose. But I'm assuming he doesn't have the game's played out. If he's got... We're dead, by the way. He's got an Earthshaker Kenra. I'm just hoping he misses it. I don't have any other plays. Like, holding this back and just chump blocking doesn't win. So literally hoping he doesn't see it. And doesn't have anything. So, like, I knew that when I played it that he has this, but like... Just casting this and chump blocking and still taking 8. Like, I can't even chump block with that. Okay. Well, we're dead to that, too. I'm assuming he didn't see it then. Think we would have won that game if we'd actually hit lands on curve? These red mirrors are miserable, though. Like, there's honestly no thinking involved. Your mulligan decisions are the only hard decision you make in the game. I mean, there might be a spot occasionally that you make a real decision. But I'm talking about the typical game. Like the normal game, there isn't a decision. Not saying that there's never a decision. I don't think I made a decision in any of those 6 games other than the mulligan in game 1. I think it's a keep. May not have been a keep. Like a Hazard's not even very good, but... Well, that's probably bad for me. Got punished for my turn 1 play. Alright, whatever. I need to get as many triggers as I can. Got punished for my turn 1 play. I deserve to be punished for it. Rip. So now I have to draw a removal spell? That's not a removal spell. That's just another land in our 22 land deck. He may not block. Nah, he blocked. This game would have went much smoother for me if I had just played correctly. The correct land on turn 1. Cool. Don't think it would have changed a whole lot though. He's playing that deck. Again, supposed to be a buy. Hey, yeah. Supposed to be a buy. Him blocking the Kenra would be the best thing for us. He'd probably be at like 10 or something now if I hadn't made my mistake. Maybe lower. I might have been able to attack with my Hazard a turn earlier. Oh, well, crap. He's got God Pharaohs out. That's a bad sign. But we're lethal if we draw a land. Man, does this thing cost 3? Sure. Oh, that's 12. These are fine here. These are fine here. I almost think these are fine here. Like, they killed a Sun Scorcher, but, like, that's not great. Those probably aren't great. Don't want to cut a red source, so I probably just cut one of these. Might bring these back in on the play, but I don't think they're great on the draw. So we'll take out one of our... Worse one drops, maybe? Yeah, let's try this. Well, we have 2 lands and a bunch of burn spells and some interaction for a, what you call it? Uh, Gifts, that's what you call it. Go, go, sky ship. Oh, that's a good draw. Or that's a good card, even. Shock it so we can keep adding to the board. Excuse me. Well, if he doesn't discard a Gods, it makes my next turn simpler. I can just cast Incendiary Flow. If he does discard a Gods, it changes things because I probably have to hold up a Braid then. Which means I also can't attack with the Gorger. Oh, sweet. He didn't discard anything that mattered. I mean, he can have Fumigate or all sorts of things. He certainly has a chance. And that'll get him 2 life this turn. That'll get him 2 life next turn. So we kind of need to draw a Cropper. Can't really just kill it. Just killing it doesn't feel very profitable to me. It literally just gains 4 more life next turn if I kill it this turn. Yeah, whatever. It does soak his entire turn up, I guess. Then I just kill it next turn. While keeping on stacking the Beaumont's the important thing here. The Beaumont is the important thing here. Now, if he discards a Gods, that'll be terrible for me, but he didn't discard a Gods with this, so like he would have had to draw it on this turn. Sure. Sure. I have enough mana to play on both next turns, so I'll just hold it for kind of a surprise. Well, gained 4 life. That's pretty good. That doesn't survive on board, though. Well, that doesn't survive on board either, so he has to like hit another creature off of this clue? Or a removal spell? If he just draws a dead spell, it doesn't do anything? I am playing 3 Hazoret. People tell me I need to go to 4. I'm not 100% sure that I do. So he really needs another Bless of Defiance, or... Alright. Well, we lost to a bye in round 1, and we lost to a mirror. Can't really hate on that. This is the 75. The slash deck list works as well. What beats Hazoret in the mirrors? Nothing. Outside of the mirrors, lots of things. Grasp of Darkness, Declaration in Stone, Stasis Snare, Cast Out, Counter Spells, the black card that kills like random god and you draw a card or whatever. Rent creature, and if it's a god you draw a card. Outside of the mirrors, nothing. Like, you can get under them sometimes or whatever. Like, the Hazoret can come down at a bad time, but like, Hazoret's just simply the best card in the mirror by a lot. The only way I've found to beat a Hazoret in the mirrors, play cards like Eldrazi Displacer. The Impending Doom build of the deck did, but I've not saw anybody play them in this other build. I guess that's a reasonable card to try. Kind of slow, but it can win. You can do damage straight to a player's face. Don't own them. This is a more budget build of the deck. I do not own Chandra's. That card might be playable. I would try it out, but I'm too lazy to take new pictures and post things, and I'm going to run one more, I guess. I was going to log off, but Sam's not on the host, so I guess I'll run one more. See if we can get us lucky in the mirrors this time. We played 3 mirrors last league, which is about as boring as can be. Chandra's are like 30 ticks on Magic Online, though. Yes. I would definitely run a minimum of 2, potentially 3. Oh, cool. Our 4th mirror in 6 rounds. The old 4th mirror in 6 rounds is fun. Hey, but at least he draws like we do. I actually drew fantastic this game. Will block. Red Rover, send it on over. Sure. Hey, Sean. What's up, man? You're supposed to be in bed. Now, me and our opponent both drew a lot of 1-drops. He wants to trade both of his guys for the Crasher, that's fine. I don't want to use Exert because he can still just trade his other guy for the Gorger. Hey, boot to the head. How you doing today, man? Getting ready to take your morning run? Yeah, we curved out perfectly and our opponent just didn't draw lands. 3-2. This is the 4th mirror match in 6 rounds though, so mirror matches aren't fun. Oh, you're at work this morning? Fair. It's always lunchtime if you're me. Actually, I started a diet today, so I'm probably going to be real grumpy real soon. I don't know what you sideboard out in this mirror still. I'm sideboarding out Raw Dogger suggestions, but like, I don't really know if I agree with them. But I'm down to try anything, so we'll try this sideboard plan for a few rounds. We have no removal spells. This seems like a recipe to get crushed in this match. Not really sure that I can mulligan a Hazoret though. Even if the Hazoret's never ever going to be quick enough. Alright, well, Blazing Volley's a good draw. That's not a Blazing Volley. Oh! Every morning when you said that, I thought you were going out and exercising. I thought you were crazy. Who exercises? I really thought you were going out for an exercise. Yeah, I need to draw that Blazing Volley like pretty quick. If you just cast a Hazoret, I can concede, right? Like I don't have to play anymore. It wasn't a Hazoret, so I get to play more. I could have waited for him to use the 1 energy, but to be honest, I'm impatient and I just want to press F6. That was the entire process behind that. F6 is your friends. Use it every time you can. Rip. Hey, opponent gets to draw 4 cards. That's fun. Just cast a Hazoret so we can concede, please. Oh god, well, we're dead anyway, I think. I guess I need to kill this? Does too much damage? If I'm drawing another 4 or 5 cards, doesn't seem like I'm going to do well either, does it? Can't play our hand next turn, if somehow we're not dead. I don't know how we wouldn't be dead. Like, he used to draw another 4 cards and deal 2 damage to us? That seems pretty strong. I really want to attack with the Hazret. What do we need to win? A miracle? Well, he can't attack our block. He still can't attack our block. Uh, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So he has to block if I attack, but I'll be down to 5. Okay. Decisions made. Nah. We changed our mind. Not really sure how I can win right now. Well, that's 2 damage. That's 2 damage. Is the last card a shock? Last card's not a shock. I'm just kind of dead, I guess. Um, it's not enough. It puts him at 1. It doesn't hit creatures. It only hits players. They both only hit players. If I hadn't exerted, I'd have been dead though. So, all right, we're dead. Man, if Hazard or this little land either one hit creatures and or players, how ridiculous would that be? That'd be insane. Let's run it back and hope our opponent doesn't get to draw 8 additional cards this game off of Beaumont Couriers. Especially versus the deck with 10 removal. This sounds fun. There's nothing to write home about, but we have a Blazing Volley, and we have a Hazret, and we have an Earthshaker. I guess that's close to everything we want. They just look really awkward because you're kind of like playing this weird control deck. He got 8 extra cards. That was a lot. I'm amazed that we were actually going to beat the first 4. I guess I should have played Kenra. Now I feel like I'm priced into just killing this thing. I was kind of hoping he'd play a creature. I was just trying to prevent damage by holding the shock back. Holding the shock back still may have been better. We're in pretty rough shape now, though. Need to draw one of the 4 braids. The mirror is absolutely 100% who draws better. Just have one less card in my hand right now had I played the Kenra, but like wanted to keep his board clear? I don't know. Going to have to draw on a braid. He got his a braid. Excuse me. Rip. He could not have another creature. Pretty far ahead if he doesn't have another creature. He's going to 19, we're going to 13, but we're attacking for 9. He doesn't get to gain any more life either. The problem is this thing is just such a good blocker. He may not have another creature. He may not draw another creature. If he draws Hazoret, though, we're just messed up here. Not a good attacker. We go down to 9. That was a misplay. I shouldn't have played that. That represented 2 damage to his face. That was a punt. If we untapped, we would have won had I not made that mistake. That was pretty bad of me. Looks like it's not going to matter. He's got the burn spell if he's doing this. Yes. Oh. Yeah, he had the burn spell. Doesn't matter. No, I don't. Already in the event. Not likely to play much more past this event either because just playing mirrors non-stop is not fun. Especially a mirror that takes very little skill. Pretty sure if you own Chandras, you should be selling them too. Thank you for following, Rafakir. I appreciate it. It won't. I don't think it can. Yeah, I guess it is. You linked me to a deck with collective brutality and stuff. Huh? This is a bad match. I would pull it up on stream, but there's no telling how much porn will show up if I do. Oh, this is probably not a bad match then. I thought he was a different deck. When you see imposing, or when you see inspiring vantage into Fraben, you immediately assume Mardu. Yeah, it was the Torment of Hellfire deck. He did not hit. Happy days. Have you got to play it any yet? Our draw's pretty bad. Would the changes be on that page that I bookmarked? Gate to the Afterlife. Guess I play this first because the one showed us Fraben earlier. Man, I like Essence of Extraction. I don't feel like that card does anything. Not a fan of it. It's like 3 mana, take your whole turn. And I feel like to beat the red decks, you need to play 2 spells in a turn. What do you get? Alright, so he's got a God's Pharaoh. Well, if he has a refurbish, that's going to be pretty bad for me. I guess he doesn't have any way to gain life yet, so. You get the 2 life either way, right? It's to draw the card that is. Sure. We will keep you and you. Hmm. Interesting. Could ship this card away, but then I can't sack this if he blocks. Think I want the ability to sack. Because at worst case, he's going to be 3 life at the end of this turn, so. Now, Harvester's kind of a card I like. Alright, we'll use it, I guess. So he goes down to 2. Any shock, any land wins. Alright, well, that should be enough. You get to attack with the Hazret next turn, too. The 40 does some things. As long as you have things to clean up the board after. Opponent played a whole lot of things this turn. We'll give him credit for that. Alright. The braids is the only cards I want here. Virtuoso is very good right now. I almost agree with you that I also want to play that deck, but honest to God, I think Reed Duke's version of it looked pretty poor, and I don't feel like brewing it myself. You're right. I guess I should bring in Scavenger Grounds. Forgot about that, sorry. Hey, we drew one. Keep. I imagine the black-green energy decks just lose to the black-green delirium decks and zombies, right? Ginger always said zombies was his worst match. Well, the old days we didn't have 4 Virtuoso, though, and I wouldn't want to play it without 4 right now. Most of them not sure that Tracker's better than Champion. It could be. I'm not sure. There's somebody making a thunderous loud mess in my house right now. They have a refurbish. I'm in not great shape. You sideboarded in the old X4 to beat the deck that plays both Fatal Push and Grasp and Dark Salvation to kill it, and that has Never's Outer sideboard that they're bringing in. Just exiling the graveyard now doesn't do a whole lot. And I have to get rid of my Scavenging Ground, so I can only do it once. The hand was good. We had both spells we need to win. We just drew 3 spells in a row we didn't want to draw. Like we drew in a manner that he's just going to be able to cast spells normally and beat us. I'd like to know what the hell kind of racket's going on in my house, though. I also don't think Kalidas is good versus Mono Red, though. They, Alright. They have Collective Defiant, Chandra, and Glorybringer. All of their things do something else too. Yours just takes 4 mana and time walks you. Basically, I hate Kalidas. I don't think Kalidas is a good card. I don't actually think it's a very playable card, much less good card. I'm actually going to exert here because I want to get another card under this. I think that's going to be a fairly decent thing that it's going to take for us to win this game. Like draw 7 with Beaumont in a few turns. He has another refurbish, another gift. That's kind of bad. It's not even a must answer. It's a must answer if you draw removal spells to go with it. Like, if you don't draw removal spells to go with it, it's not even a must answer. It's a can ignore if you don't draw removal spells. And the thing is, all of those spells are spells that they're already going to have in versus you regardless. Like, it's not like they're going out of their way to have to deal with Kalidas. That's cards that are already playing. It's not changing their plan at all. Like the best card they have in the match versus you is literally Glorybringer, which is also a great versus the card that we're talking about. The next best card they have in their deck versus you is Wild Defiance, another card that's just great versus Kalidas. I don't think Kalidas has ever been playable. I think anybody that's ever put it in their deck as anything other than just a pure traverse target has misbuilt their deck. And I am the giant minority of that. Yeah, but you just said up there that it is, and I quote, just because they can answer it doesn't mean they will. So you're saying that you want to draw your Kalidas and draw your removal spells and have them not draw their spells. Not draw their like 10 answers to your card. That seems like a big ask. So you're drawing a multi-card combo and hoping that they don't draw any of their interactive spell. Wow. Sideboarded in the gates. Gets punished. Yeah, as a traverse target. I said I think it's fine in a deck that's tutoring for it in very specific situations. It's fine. If he was playing a Tune with the Effer, I would say the card was unplayable. He's not playing a Tune with the Effer. You can play weaker cards when you're tutoring for them. It's like you can play a lot worse cards when you're tutoring for them for specific situations. You're playing a deck that's already favored to beat mono red. Any card in your deck's going to look good in that situation because you're already beating mono red. I am lucky as hell. F me. This gets added to the... I like to save all of those. I did get pretty lucky drawing that Abrade. But that's beside the point. Yep, I'm real lucky. Are we on to play? We're on to play. Not even going to consider keeping that on the play. This hand's a lot better. There's a lot of bad cards in decks that do well. there's a lot of bad cards in decks that do well as well. Just because something placed doesn't necessarily mean it's right. I mean, you can look at the top 8 list and see that there's 6 different Ramunap style decks, and that all 6 of them are vastly different. Like, in Magic, there's always a clear correct and incorrect. So that means 5 of those players at minimum are wrong. At the very best case, 5 of those players are wrong. Oh god, don't do that. That means you're going to kill my Beaumont. So just because the deck does well doesn't mean it's right, though. Alright, he didn't kill my Beaumont. I don't know what's going on here. Is this the Black Eldrazi deck? Or is it just we're not going to play anything deck? Oh. It's a zombie deck with a miserable draw. It's a zombie deck with a miserable draw. Zombies are pretty favored versus us. If he has an answer to this Hazaret, he's probably going to beat us. Doesn't have an answer for this. We're going to be pretty happy. Hazaret, go get him. Go get him, girl. Lead the people from the city. Fatal Push? Well, they finally drew a good spell. Alright. Put them at 2. And if they do find an answer for it, we'll keep the little sky ship. It's not that much better than Glorybringer. Oh yeah, maybe it is. This is a lot better than Glorybringer. Huh. Well, I've never played versus zombies. I'm going to assume these are good versus zombies. I don't think they block flyers well. They could have Everspear Harvesters. That card's probably fine. You probably don't do a lot. What do you do? 2 damage to target creature. Probably not good enough. I'm assuming that all my cards are just bad here, right? Every card I have is just bad here. Like this really awkward big red deck that can't win on the draw. Just really big awkward red deck that can't win on the draw? Sure. I'm down. I agree with you, but PV played it, so I wanted to test it. Is this hand unplayable? I think I have to have removal spells. Yeah, I think this hand's a lot better. Don't want you. Uh-oh, boys. Got him. Oh, good lord, they didn't have a removal spell. There's much dancing in their future. That's fair. Not only did PV have to draw that well down the line, he had to have somebody punt versus him. Because he definitely lost the semis. The dude's a genius, though. He didn't just put that deck in there for no reason. How good would a land been there? Land would have been sick, the sick nasty. I think it's fine in the mirror. It's not terrible anywhere else. It's just not great anywhere else. Uh-oh. I guess this is one of those situations Gunnar was talking about that Cletus is great. When I have to miss a land drop for it to do anything at all. Like I have to miss a land drop for it to do anything at all? Sure. I'm not confident we've lost this yet. Pretty confident we've lost this if he has like a Liliana's Mastery or something, though. Oh. Yeah, whatever. Won't concede. Being a 2-for-1's pretty close to doing nothing. I still don't like that. I have 5 clean answers to it as well. Where am I supposed to bring all the 1-drops back in? Well, this hand's miserable, but I'm not going to mulligan this. I don't think this hand can win. Like, literally none of these cards are the cards I want versus that deck. And he has a crit breaker, so I have to basically blank my next turn. Yeah, I can't just play Karlzev. I don't know if I think that the 1-drops are effective versus them either, though, when they have like just a million creatures. I don't think you can go under a deck that can play so many spells like that. Which is why that they're a very favorable match versus me, in my opinion. That's why Zombies is playable right now. Sure. Interesting. That was a good draw. He'd have to not have a grasp, but yeah. I'm not in the worst shape, but I mean, like, he's still a favorite. You can still win games that you're not a favorite versus. Oops. That was a misclick. You can definitely win games that you're not a favorite versus when they draw miserably. Oh, he had a lot of outs. Could have been any land there, too. Hey, we beat a bad match. We lost to a mirror. So we played 4 mirrors now in 8 rounds. Let's throw the deck list back up for all of those who care. I'm not a fan of this card at all, though. I think this card's better. But I'm testing one of these because I'm willing to test pretty much anything. The next time I change this deck, I'm probably going to test the Burn Within that was suggested earlier. God willing, we never test this deck again, though. God willing. Thank you for following DeMarco, Yim Kung Gamer, Cleaton, and Ilmforest Mastertum? Yeah, Mastertum. That sounds about right. Appreciate the follows. For those people that are new, if you care whatsoever, there's a link to my Twitter down below. All the deck lists we play and when we go live are on the Twitter. It's also my personal Twitter, so you get to see me like argue and talk to a bunch of people and stuff. So there's more on it than just the deck list and stuff. Meh. Have a Hezret and a couple removal spells. I guess I'm not gonna mulligan. It's not exciting though. We don't have any of our million drops. Please be energy and not delirium, so that I'll have at least somewhat of a chance. They play a snake. We're drawing pretty thin. Not a snake. This is an unfavorable match as well. Let's see if we can navigate it well enough to win. You need more than 2 creatures in your 26 creature deck. Rip. That could be bad. Blossoming Defense will get us pretty hard here. Yeah, it uses the mana best most efficiently to get this one out of our hand. He's got Blossoming Defense. We're going to get boned, but I'm fine with it. It's not like it gets better waiting for later. He'll have the Blossoming Defense on a later turn as well. Not a Blossoming Defense, so at least that's reasonable. No, we didn't want you to draw that one. That one does things. That one's not just a dead card. So you can turn this thing into a 6 now? Can't really do anything about it being a 6. Just have to hope to get the right draws to race it. It's another sneaky snaky. So now it does 8 next turn. 9, 10, 11, 12. So if he has a removal spell and a way to get energy or a removal spell in a land, I'm dead. Trying to decide whether I'm going to play around him having lethal on the way back. If he's got those spells, I'm probably dead anyway, so I'm not going to play around it. Well, he has a removal spell and a way to gain an energy, I'm dead. That is a Cletus. If we draw a land, the Cletus does nothing. As usual. There's no reason for me to block. It doesn't accomplish anything. I either hit or I don't hit, so. Can also hit any burn spell on the deck too. So a land, any burn spell, or another cropper. It's pretty close to the whole deck. That's enough. We had the Earthshaker in the graveyard, so any land worked. We didn't have to do the extra one. But 4-drop's never great. That's kind of my whole point. I think to beat the red decks, you have to be playing multiple spells a turn. And anytime if you're just untapping and playing 4 lands or tapping 4 mana for this is bad. Like even if he had say he hadn't missed his land drop and the last card in his hand was a land, like the Cletus still doesn't do anything. That's my whole point, Gunner. That's the whole point I've been trying to make this entire time. I don't think the 1-drops are any good here. I do kind of think the flyer's good. I just don't like any of these X1 things. I sideboard out these X1 things about every game, which just makes me think I'm playing the wrong deck. Just makes me think I'm playing the wrong deck. It does, but that's the only time it's good, I think. And we have 10 other burn spells that kill a snake. I don't think everybody knows. I think people actually think Kalidas is a good card. And this has been something that I've been preaching since day one of the card being legal. I've thought it's been terrible since day one. And if we have to play bad cards to win in this format, then I don't really want to play the format and we should just be playing Modern. That's my 2 cents. Our opponent mulliganed to 4 this game, by the way, so if we lose, I'm going to be embarrassed. Honestly, those 3 cards in 5 cards, though, is pretty insane. That was already pretty hot for our opponent. He's got another snake. This game's going to get real difficult. Untap land in Kalidas, the game could get difficult. Our opponent had a good draw last game as well. I would argue he played every spell he wanted to and it didn't matter. Because we also had a good draw. I'll play this thing. Hitting 4 land drops in a row when you mulligan to 4 is pretty sick. I like playing Modern when Standard's a bad format. I think this Standard is not a great format. I think this red deck's going to be too oppressive. I hope I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I'm just really hoping I'm wrong. I honestly think this is going to be worse than playing against Feldor Guardian. It may not seem that way at like the Pro Tour, but I'm talking about like at Friday Night Magics and stuff. Thanks for the host, JArmy85. Appreciate it, man. Not negative, Nancy. I dislike certain cards. I feel like I'm constantly proven right about it. I'm trying to educate, man. How was your stream tonight? What we got going on here? A little long tusk coveroo? What is it? 5-3? We're 5-3 at the moment. We're 2-2 versus mirrors. We've only lost one match to a non-mirror. At exactly our store, maybe, but like, I think there's more than that because I'm a favorite to play it, Eric's a favorite to play it, and Robbie's a favorite to play it. So that's at least 3 people in our local store that's a favorite to play it. Sean's probably also a favorite to play it if his cards come in. So that could be 4 people when we average 10. That's a pretty big number. But I'm not talking about just for our store. I'm talking about smaller events in general. And I know at least 4 people at Cody's also play it. And I know at least 2 people over at Brian's are going to be playing it. I do not believe Gunner being a favorite to play it. Rob never tries the next level. When have you ever known Rob not to play the exact deck that won the last event? Two and three tonight? Oh. Pretty laid back, some greed pre-practice, then played some Fortnite for a bit at the end. What deck were you testing? Corey, that's you're literally saying exactly my point. I don't want to do that either, which is why I think this is going to be bad. Like we're currently playing a friendly league on Moto. I'm a big fan of Blue White Monument. How's it been faring overall? I know you said you went 2 and 3 tonight, but how's it been faring overall? Like we're playing friendly leagues on Moto, and still 50% of our opponents tonight has played it, and about 40% of our opponents have been playing it over the last several weeks. You never saw that with like Feldor Guardian. Oh, sweet. Okay, this is Blue Red Control. It's not a mirror, so we're down to 5 out of 10, just 40% played it. That's actually considerably better. So we're still at our normal mark. I apologize. I jumped the gun on this one too much, but like 40% is still a lot. This is a match that not having our Chandras hurts us a lot in. Let's play the most mana efficient Fred every time. I don't care if he has Censor. I don't think it's ever worth playing around the Censor. Unless you don't think you can win any other way ever. I don't think it gets better. Like, the red decks don't get worse unless they print things that make the red decks worse. How's it doing versus Mono Red and the Black Green deck specifically? I mean, we don't know what's in the next set. This problem could be fixed in the next set. We don't know. Like I'm not even saying I'm right about the format. I'm saying that I am fearful that this could potentially be the format. This is what I'm afraid of. That doesn't mean that's what it's going to be. And there's plenty of things that beat the red decks, but like I don't want to play a lot of bad cards just so I can beat a red deck and then then lose to the like 4 guys that showed up and said they were going to ignore the red decks. Crap. That sucks, man. Red's what I'm so afraid of. Jace in the main deck. Interesting. I'm going to return a haste creature to my hand. Also interesting. Trying to decide whether I care enough to kill the Jace or not. I guess I care enough to kill the Jace? I guess I care enough to kill the Jace? I do not know if I care that much. Oh. Well, we wish we hadn't killed the Jace. But we're priced in now. Yeah, I'm afraid it was going to get a little bit more popular because it did very well at the Pro Tour. His play or my play? The killing the Jace confused you? We didn't have the Hazoret in my hand when we killed the Jace. We had the Hazoret, we would not even have considered killing the Jace. Huh. Alright. Well, 3 damage to head. Just in case we need to sack the Beaumont Courier this turn. Oh. Okay, fair. Yeah. I just didn't know. My bad, man. There's a little bit of lag. I think the Scavenging Grounds are decent here, and I've always liked these haste threats because they can come down a little bit later in the game. And I've always liked these Abrades. Normally would have Chandras in here. The things that I've not liked typically are a lot of these burn spells. They don't 2-for-1 on nah. Guess the sky ships aren't good. Might bring the sky ships back in on a play, but I don't really think I want a haste threat on the draw that just gets swept up by Sweltering Suns and doesn't do any value. Monument was what I was playing non-stop before this red deck became popular. It was my favorite deck by a lot. I actually still have it sleeved in paper. That's right, locals. Anytime anytime I show up to a local event, you can still be afraid that I'm going to break out the Monumento. Thank you for following Captain Jack Sparrow and Magic Girl. And 3/3 still die to Sweltering Suns. They still don't. They also still just don't attack through the thing in the ass. It's a pretty favorable match. I don't think we need to like jump through hoops to try to beat it. Don't know which of these to ever play on turn 1. Like, he's representing a burn spell, so it kind of makes you always want to keep doing that does more damage, but like the Beaumont draws so many cards. Oh, well, he's some kind of Grixis deck. We didn't see Black Mana game one, did we? Or did I just overlook it? Rip. This game's going to go very poorly then. We didn't sideboard out any of our cheap drops, did we, other than that guy? I didn't think so. Probably won't play the Hazoret into a sensor because it can't attack anyway. Alright, sweet. We don't have to. Hopefully they use a burn spell, not a draw two. I guess they don't have Essence Scatter then, or they could have cycled and maybe hit an Essence Scatter? Sure. I'm going to assume they have another counter spell. I'm also going to assume that I don't care. Come get him. He's ready to be got. He was not got. That's probably good for us. Little dude was not got, guys. Put on bottom bottom. Oh wow. It does look pretty fun, but in my experience, this doesn't even beat the red decks. Like, I think I've beat it every time I've got paired versus it. If it can't beat the red decks, I'm pretty fearful about ever wanting to play it. And Weiss tapped out. Might as well put him at 1. So we can kill him with a Hazoret trigger, a Runes trigger, or a... No, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's very good versus like some of the slower decks. I don't think it's that good versus the red deck. And one of my primary rules in this format is going to be if you can't beat the red deck, you can't play your deck. But like, I think that deck's pretty strong versus like all of the more mid-rangey decks. And I actually think it's pretty strong versus the red decks that don't have their decks built right. Like the red decks that are skimping on Abrades and skimping on Collective Defiances and stuff like that, it's going to be very good versus. Because Spear Harvester does so much work in that deck. It just does so much work in that deck. That deck gets crushed by Ramp, but I don't know if Ramp... I know Ramp got a 5-0 and a couple top 8s in the PTQ, but like, I don't think Ramp's going to catch on and become popular, so I don't think that's very relevant. Anyway, we went 7-3 tonight. We've lost versus 2 mirrors. We beat 2 mirrors. What else did we lose to? We lost to something round 1 of the first league. It had Fraben Inspector. I don't remember if it was Monument or whether it was God's Pharaoh. I think it was God's Pharaoh. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm actually taking off myself. That's the second league for tonight. I appreciate the host as well. Get Essence Scatter. They're not completely non-existent. Like, we have Confiscation Coup, man. We just take their Hazoret and beat them in the face with it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate the host again, too. Like, we literally just Confiscation Coup their Hazoret and beat them in the face with it. Just beat them to death with their own dude. But yeah, that's 2 leagues for me. I think I'm gonna call it tonight. There was a joke. The Confiscation Coup is not a joke though. Like the Confiscation Coup is kind of relevant, and if you're playing like a bunch of spot removal spells, you're generally going to get to the 5-drop. Well, I'm not suggesting play the main deck. We're not going to crack the chest because we have lost way too much money lately. We're pretty dead on play points and we're pretty dead on tickets, and at some point we're going to have to start buying cards again, so we're going to save the chest. Sorry. I know people like to watch them get opened, but I can't do it. If I want to keep streaming, I got to sell them so I can keep buying things and playing. So, but anyway, there's nobody I want to host. I hope Sam's okay. I guess I'm going to host Total MTG. Looks like he's playing Standard, and he's a pretty cool guy. He's playing interesting. There's another dude playing Ramp, but I've never watched him, so I think we're gonna give Total MG. Ocean Man's playing Black White Zombies. Nah, not big on Black White Zombies. He's playing Mono Black maybe. Rip. Oh, thanks again tonight for the sub, Corey, and thanks for all the new followers for Corey Coolcat. And for the new people, there's a link to the Twitter down below. On the Twitter, all the deck it's a personal Twitter, but I still post all the deck lists, and every time I go live on it. Anyway, I appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow.